What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Helmet 49ers Podcast. I am your host, JT. That's me. And my host is my dad.
What's up, everybody?
And first, don't forget to like.
And subscribe. So today is going to be a little bit different. We are not going to be doing a preview of a game or do a post-game
As
wrap
you can see
up.
from the helmet.
As you can see, we only got one helmet there. Today we're going to do something a little different. Something kind of fun, I guess. We're going to do our top 6 impactful players. So JT and I, we made our own lists and kind of combined them together. Actually, they were very close. A little bit different here and there, but most of it's the same. So we put it together and we have our list of the 6 most impactful players for the regular season.
So do you want to start from 6 or from 1?
Let's go from 6 and count down. So 6 for us is
Jimmy G.
Yeah. That was my pick mostly.
Yeah, I picked it.
He was impactful because, well, Trey Lance went down early and Jimmy G gave us that spark and kept us going. He didn't play too well in his first real start against the Broncos, but he got things together and he righted the ship when things were looking kind of bleak. We were so lucky to be able to re-sign him because the whole talk in the offseason was that we were going to trade him or at least cut him basically, he wasn't going to be with the team.
Well, we're going to have Brock Purdy then.
Yeah.
Still win.
Yes, true. So I think he was very impactful. He helped us through that span. Possibly, what if Jimmy G wasn't here and all we had was Nate Sudfeld or Brock Purdy? Maybe things would have been just the same or even better like it is now. But who knows? But I do think that Jimmy G coming in really helped out a lot and gave us that winning streak that Brock Purdy is continuing on. And he was playing some of his best football.
But he got injured, though.
Yeah, exactly. Too bad for him. I was really sad for him. As a fan, Brock Purdy is an upgrade. I'm not saying a ton of, great upgrade, like a ton of a difference, but it is, I think he's playing better than Jimmy G ever has. So that's saying something. So let's go to number 5.
As George Kittle. I picked him because he led the team in touchdowns and he was top 10 in touchdowns in the NFL. So it really helped us at the end of the season. He got 4 touchdowns before Jimmy G got injured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that still helped. But end of the season, he helped a lot with all those touchdowns.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, Purdy, like we talked about in our post-game podcast, how Purdy and Kittle have this thing now. They have this communication, this chemistry with each other, and he's finding Kittle, especially in the end zone. So he's getting so much more love than even Jimmy G gave him when he was playing.
And they're buddies.
Yeah, they're buddies. It's kind of weird that way, and how how they're close, supposedly close, and they have each other's backs. Yet Kittle was just an afterthought in the offense. He stayed in to block most of the time, or Jimmy G chose not to throw to him. He was forgotten about basically when Jimmy G was QBing and this past season. But when Brock Purdy in, he's finding him, even if he's not totally open, he's throwing the ball, tight window, getting it to Kittle, and he's doing something with it, scoring. So, yeah, you're right. That's a good choice. So, some love to Kittle. Now, the next 4 people that we have on our list, we all agreed, you and I agreed, that these were the top 4. So we combine them together, and this is the number four. We have Javarius
Our
Ward.
first defensive player.
Yes, yeah, yeah. When we signed him, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm not familiar with Javarius Ward.
Yeah, me too. I barely knew who he was at the time. I only knew him because of Madden, but I just assumed he was good because of the contract.
You mean the high amount that he got?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Usually people get paid what they're worth, but truthfully, for cornerbacks, he was a bargain for a free agent cornerback, and he's played probably above that. Compared to J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore and all the other people that we were
Yeah,
the
J.C.
biggest names.
Jackson was a disappointment. Apparently, I heard.
Yeah, you got to give it up to the Niners and the front office and how they were able to pick this guy. I mean, he was probably, who knows, seventh on the free agent list for cornerbacks or whatever, and that's the one they targeted. So, man, kudos to them. Really, really good. Chavez, because our cornerback situation was so rocky last year. Josh Norman and all, and it was just a big mess. It was the weakness of our defense, a big weakness, and they made it into a strength by getting Travarius Ward. Right, man,
Yeah.
he's like a lockdown corner that we always wanted, and
I think we always want a ball hawking cornerback.
oh
But
yeah,
lockdown, we'll take that.
yeah, yeah, I think a lockdown one too. So that he is a very impactful player for us and totally solidified that cornerback position. And
I am
yeah,
curious how many times quarterbacks passed to Deommodore Lenore the whole season, and how many times they passed to Traverse Ward the whole season. I want to see the difference.
yeah, we should look that up because yeah, you're probably right. Travarius Ward doesn't probably get a lot of play because the quarterback just prefers not to throw towards Ward's side.
And he shows why they don't throw it to him, because whenever they throw it to him, he like deflects it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, he's got a couple flags here and there, but I like that. He's not afraid to get messy with the receiver and play tight and rough if need be. Yeah, he's very impactful in that way. So glad we got him. So who's our number three?
It is Brock Purdy.
Yes, I mean, right? We had to have him. This guy is controlling the offense, and it's amazing what he's done in the short amount of time he's been here. You're like, oh, Jimmy G's been here several years, and he still needs to work on the offense and to get it down. And Brock Purdy just comes in and works with the second and third teams and gets the whole thing like that. So a rookie, Mr. Irrelevant versus a 7-year veteran or something. It's surprising.
He won 6 games for us. I'm including the Dolphins game. On the Dolphins, and then it was the Buccaneers,
Yeah.
and then it was the Seahawks, and then it was the Commanders, and then the Raiders, and then
The
this game,
Cardinals.
yeah, the Cardinals.
So yeah, my God.
He
Yeah.
he won more than half the games in our 10-game winning streak.
I mean, he is doing some historic stuff. I don't even want to go through all the different records he's broken or tied or top two, top three, or top ever.
I'll just say the least impressive one. First, Mr. Relevant quarterback to throw a pass.
Yeah, to complete a pass, I
And
think,
that
or
was
something
against the
like
Chiefs.
that. Yeah, that was yeah, he's been amazing for us. If we didn't have him, we'd be dead in the water. Just like if we didn't have Jimmy G, but Purdy came in and he's controlled the offense so well, so smooth, and always so cool and calm in the pocket. For the most part, amazing for a rookie, amazing. Um, so yeah, if we didn't have him, our season would be over. Okay, so number two, we both agreed is CMC.
And the best example of him having the biggest impact is against the Raiders when we tossed it him. Right, everyone went that way, and that opened up room for Rimmer Cloud somewhere like 42 yards.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So many different aspects of CMC, what he brings to the table, his rushing, his receiving, you know, and especially, he can be a distraction for defenses too. And we can pretend to hand him the ball, throw on the ball, and defense will swarm to him, trying to stop him. He's been the workhorse. He's been the workhorse of our offense. Playing a lot of snaps, carrying the ball, going out wide, everything. Right? This guy has been, man. It's not a coincidence that we went on a winning streak as soon as he came to us. Not counting the Chiefs game,
He
but
barely played.
he barely played in that one. But once he started getting into our system and really getting a lot of the snaps, he's made a ton of difference. I don't know. I mean, he's an amazing player, of course. So great, um, great trade to get him. So our last player, number one.
You guys have probably guessed it. It's Nick Bosa.
Yes, yeah, we both agreed. He is.
He impacts the defensive line by like pressers and then QB hits and QB hurries. He does it without even sacking the quarterback.
Yeah, he's an all-around great defensive lineman, and he gets pretty much most of the sacks for our team. And our D line is the most important part of our team. They've put so much into this D line to make it great um, and a powerhouse. But Bosa is by far the best player out of that fantastic line we have, and
Best defensive player in the league.
yes, exactly. And our Niner team for the last couple years, defense has been the focus. So we are defense first. We have been. We're getting better on offense right now, but defense has been our strength and focus for since Shanahan came. And like I said, Bosa is manning that defense, leading that defense. So he is the most impactful player for the 49ers in the regular season.
Next, to a totally different list.
We will also have another podcast for another top lists that we'll make. So
That wraps up for today's podcast. And of course, don't forget to like
and subscribe.
and goodbye.